the second installation of Bronze Room 2.0. I'm your host, Chris, and we're joined by a special guest. Maybe not so special. He's been on the podcast before, but he's still special. VIP, if you will, Mr. LJ.
Yo, yo, welcome
How was
back.
your weekend? How was your
I'm
Fourth of
glad to
July
be here.
weekend, bro?
Man, it was really, really good. Except for the fact that, I'm rocking with COVID-19 right now.
Oh
It,
no.
it was cool. I mean, you know, by myself, low
Oh man.
key. One thing though, I gotta say about 4th of July period that I noticed. When you growing up in certain neighborhoods, it seemed like we all gotta have our own supply of fireworks on deck. And we got to try them out every day up until
Yeah.
4th of July. And then on the 4th of July, then we have to collectively get together and then we got to light all them hoes off all day long. That's what I noticed
Yeah. Yeah,
with
man.
us. Yeah, man. It's like, it's cool. But then I realized, man, I'm just getting old because I was like, yeah, y'all niggas need to cut this shit out.
You just
But
trying to get some sleep or have some peace and quiet.
yeah, man, it just became too much. I'm just like this old ass man. Like these niggas need to chill out, you know?
Yeah, I've been noticing that about myself over the past few years as of late. Um, yeah, I'm easily annoyed or more easily annoyed than I ever have been, particularly with noise and like
That's what I'm
people
saying.
that just ain't on the same level of quietness
Yeah,
that I'm
man.
on. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there gotta be certain kind of rules that we like, we put into play. I was thinking of some, right? Like we should maybe just have an area that all the firework poppers, like the unofficial fireworkers, can go and do their thing.
That's your solution for everything, isn't it? Like,
What? What do
you
you mean?
suggested
My
something
solution
like
for everything. I don't have a lot of problems.
that. No, I feel like maybe it was Chris. Maybe it was Chris number two that suggested something like that. Maybe a
What do you
month
say?
ago or so. I forget. It was in regard to some other type of people, some population of some sort that I can't recall. But he was like, we should just have them go in their own little area. I mean, and I
Hey,
mean
hey,
that's always
he wasn't wrong. Whoever said it, they not wrong.
right. That's
'Cause
always
look,
the solution. Is just push them somewhere away from me.
no, but what I'm saying is like they could all be together and we could all watch what these fireworkers do, from where that one location is. Like
Talking about digitally, or are you talking about just like you can
did
physically go outside and see their fireworks from far off?
yeah, both. Both. We
Mm,
could log in and we could pull up if we in the area. Because look,
it's not a bad idea.
I was driving somewhere, because me and my lady, we gonna go see the fireworks. We trying to see the fireworks from somewhere other than the porch. So we going, and it's like, man, we gotta swerve around niggas in the street lighting fireworks. What type of shit is this, man? Like I'm
Like you
trying
in
to drive
Baghdad, something
in
else.
a residential area, without feeling like something's gonna blow up in the windshield. You know what I'm saying? So that was like how I was feeling. Like, man, if we was all like, if they all could go to like, it don't have to be like super segregated. Like, why don't have all the fireworkers go to SoFi Stadium? It's a big ass parking lot. Ain't nothing else going on over there. Y'all all can go over there. Y'all could all pop up from over there, and then people not going. People could see y'all work, and then we could still live our life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
But
that's not a bad idea, honestly. That's
yeah,
not a bad idea.
yeah, man, get that nigga, whoever, who the dude that owned the Clippers, maybe he could be a part of that for when the Clipper Stadium open next year, and then they could just have it rolling.
Is it opening next year?
Yeah, 2023, I think, but they're
Okay,
not gonna play. They're not
not
gonna
not
play there,
this
but I
season,
think it's gonna be built. I think it'll be built next year.
not this upcoming season, but next the season following.
Right, right,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, No, that's not a bad idea. I remember what the subject was that we were talking about doing that same type of solution was.
What was it?
It was in regard to the homeless situation. Just
Um,
bust them somewhere in like the middle of
mm-hmm.
nowhere,
Yeah.
and they could do that shit out there.
Yeah. Now, so look, I'm definitely for that. Put them all on Alcatraz, but only the ones that like don't want no help. Because some homeless people want help, but some homeless people they got mental health problems. They probably they got drug issues, and some of them don't want help. So I would say if you don't want no help, you just want to be homeless without the help. I can't tell you what to do, but you kind of fucking with the way that everybody else that is using the help is living. So maybe they just go to Alcatraz or an Alcatraz type of situation. They don't got to really go to Alcatraz. That's kind of
Okay, I was gonna say that's very close to imprisoning people.
yeah. I'm not trying to really imprison people, but are they not already in prison? Is the question we must ask ourselves.
I would say they're definitely not. If you free to roam the streets, that's the complete opposite of being in prison.
But are they free to be who they're meant to be?
Okay, you're getting a little
I know.
symbolic and
When you really think about it, are any of us?
well, and that was the next step. It was like, well, are any of us truly free?
But are we being disabled by the homeless issue that we see every day?
Nah, not at
These are
all.
questions you have to really think
I don't
about.
think so. Are we like people who are not homeless being disabled by people who are homeless? How so?
There's only so much space that we could all live in, and that brings the property value up higher, and it's harder for people to afford housing. All I'm saying is more people end up with the homeless than thriving because of the homeless issue. I'm just saying.
I'm not following that. I'm trying to make it make sense, but it's not.
Okay. Look, Jay-Z had a line one back in the day. It was like,
Mhm.
look, I can't I can't I can't help the homeless if I'm one of them. So
Right.
I get rich and gave back. To me, that's a win-win. But if you cannot elevate to the point where you can give back and do the win-win, where you gonna end up? Like one of them. Ah,
All right. Okay.
think about it, man.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna pass on that.
All right. Well, hey, other than that, man, 4th of July was great. Shout out to the fireworks, man. Shout out
Yeah.
to Independence.
Yeah. Far reaching goal that we still have yet to attain.
Yeah, true, man. I mean, freedom ain't free, you know.
Yeah, that's a talking point from some of my favorite guys on the right.
I mean, freedom ain't free, but there's a lot of free shit that costs. Mm.
Yeah, you're getting real poetic today.
I, I like to dabble in the arts,
Hey
but
man, I don't
I'm
blame
just I'm just trying to like show the duality of what's going on in the spirituality in totality.
you.
Had to rhyme it. But what's up with you, man? What's going on? What's going on? Tell me what's up.
Man, I'm just coming off of another 3 day weekend. We got 2 3 day weekends, or really 3 3 day weekends in a row in late May, in late June, and early July. So
Mm,
it's
really?
it feels good to have so much holiday to have time off to celebrate.
Yeah.
A lot of people were abstaining from celebrating Fourth of July this year because of the lack of freedom
Mm,
or lack of independence that is so prevalent today. Well, what do you think about that?
I saw something actually along those lines. I feel like in the past, I would be used to getting my fair share of, you know, black brothers and sisters commenting on how 4th of July, Independence Day means something different, to our community. But this time around, it seemed like it was more talks from females
Right.
speaking on how their independence is actually being taken and
Right.
what it means to them, and how things are not really as uh, the level of equality is not really represented. So I was like, oh, this is an interesting twist. Now it seems to be affecting more people on a greater scale, and got to say, I do like that abrasiveness. I do like
I do too.
that yeah, whatever that is. I like that energy. Speaking out on, because we all are we could all take the days to voice out what's going on, what's right and what's wrong out here. So I was really feeling that sentiment. I understand it.
Yeah, same man, same. I appreciate when different groups, as bad as it is to have people, different people groups have their rights intruded on. There is a silver lining in it, in that little by little, everybody's starting to see how enslaved we all really are. Some groups
Yeah.
have already been privy to that information for a long time, and
Yeah.
so the more people that become privy to the information these days, it seems like we have a little bit more of a chance to
Hmm.
upend and overthrow the system.
Interesting. Overthrowing the system.
Oh yeah.
It's a great phrase, but how do you see it happening, especially with what's going on most recently?
Um, I do not know. I can't answer that question. I don't know the particulars of how it's going to happen.
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
I mean, if we're just speaking historically, all governments eventually are overthrown. So it would make sense that if it was going to happen from the inside out, it would start with the disappointment of different groups. You can't
Mm.
go anywhere if everybody's happy. You
Hmm.
know what I mean? In terms of change, people have to get upset and really start to threaten other people's power in order for change to really start to set in. And I think that's really the main strategy of the man, or the people in
Hmm.
power, is to keep you appeased, is to keep you happy, is to keep you placated. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm fucking you, but at least you got Netflix for $10 a month. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for
Like,
now. I mean,
it's these
damn.
it's these little things that they add to your life that give you the illusion of satisfactory
Hmm.
life.
Yeah.
Just satisfactory. It's not gonna add any substance to your overall happiness, but it will give you the illusion of it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. We all live in the day-to-day reminder of the illusion.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the essence of the matrix.
Yeah.
That's the essence of taking the blue pill.
Yeah, it's very it's good old America. I was looking at a comedy special yesterday, some stand-up black woman out of London. She's actually Nigerian, but
Gina,
yep,
your
Gina
horror.
something. Yeah, did you watch that on
I
Netflix?
went to go see her live, maybe late last year, but no, I have
Okay.
not seen her Netflix special.
Oh, okay. Yeah, she has like she had a short one on Netflix I was watching the other day, and she was talking about how she preferred She preferred American racism to European racism because American racism is very in your face, direct, and I guess European racism is very subtle. You don't even know they're being racist and discriminating against you because they just do it with ease. It's like I don't know. She tried to also give the idea that like it's in everything,
Yeah.
so
Well,
you
I
don't
agree.
even know. You don't even know where it's at.
I agree with that full-heartedly. I was rationalizing with myself a couple of days ago. I was like, well, like in this political system of having to choose between red and blue, um, on my latest on the last episode, I was saying to vote black, vote for a different party altogether.
Mhm.
But until that party comes along, if I had to, if gun to my head, I had to pick a choice between Democrat or Republican.
Mhm.
The conclusion I came up with is that I'd rather vote Republican
Interesting. Interesting. All right.
because of what that point that Gina was talking about. If you have somebody that's trying to kill you by sticking a knife in your chest,
Mhm.
I would argue that you would have a better shot
Mhm.
at dealing with that form of attack than a dude that's smiling in your face, and then as soon as you turn around, he tries to stab you in the back.
Right. At least you can see it coming.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, I think as more as I get older, I don't consider myself Republican or Democrat. Partially because I don't know all the damn POVs of when it comes to every issue. So I can't say I'm more this or that, but I am more conservative every year. And I feel
I've
like
noticed that.
I'm way more conservative every year, and the things that I see being greenlit, under the liberalism uh ideas, I'm not with everything. I'll give you an example, Brody. So the other day we had where was we at? We was at community college, Southwest College, for the women's rights rally that they had. And Maxine Waters was there, and she had a lot of other women going up, giving speeches, sharing their POVs, right? And I remember being like, this is good. I like the energy, people standing up for what's right, what they believe is right, and speaking out. I'm all for that. Then this one lady comes up and she's like, women, uh, women must be protected at all times. I'm like, yeah. And she's like, and the men that are here, we support you too. I said, all right, yeah. Then she's like, and these politicians need to know that any child that's out here that wants to be any gender, that's okay too. I was like, hold up.
That's
Now,
where I lost you, man.
I didn't sign up for that part of the shit. I was with her up
Yeah.
until that point, and that's just my opinion. I ain't really with that. So
Yeah.
I feel like even more and more I'm like, oh yeah, I'm with certain things, and then I'm not with other things.
Yeah. Well, there's been commentary that I've, heard maybe over the past few months that shed light on the fact of the Democratic Party losing a lot of momentum in trying to appease everybody,
Yeah.
rather than having a focused strategy on specific rights for, just a more narrow, um, just more a more narrow focus than trying to do everything for everybody, for all groups. You
Mhm.
know what I mean? Um,
And that's
and
the other thing. There's like
I
new
get that.
groups.
I get the approach because for one, it sounds good. For two, it is in essence the principle, at least the principle that I believe the nation was founded on: freedom, for everybody. It's a
Yeah.
you always heard that from the moment that you were a child. It's a free country. You
Yeah.
can do whatever you want. It's a free country, right? So I get the approach. I get it, but you lose a lot of people in that fight as well. And I think that's why the right wing has gained power because they're much more focused. They're much more exact on what they're trying to do.
Mm.
You know, just in life, in an individual's life, the more that you try to juggle, the less you're going to be able to do with any of those different tasks.
Right.
Whereas, somebody that has one goal and one goal only, they're going to be much more efficient.
Yeah, and I think you just have a stronger followership. If we just gonna talk straight like support, it's like the people who it's like if you have one goal, like you're saying, you're probably gonna have a niche that connects with that goal.
Yeah,
And
your base is
that
just going to be more. They're going to be more passionate.
more
You're going to have a much
passionate.
more passionate base.
Yeah, you're not gonna have people who just believe in this part of it and then people who just believe in
Right.
that part of it. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yes. That's
People like
it's like an
yourself
interesting
who like,
dynamic.
you were with the first and second point, and then that third point came along, and then they started
They
to lose.
lost me, bro. They completely lost
Exactly.
me. I was just like, I don't even know who this lady is no more. I don't even,
Right.
I don't even know who she was. Like take her out of here. I don't know what's where because I'm like, well, what's next? What are you gonna say next? Now I just feel like it's random. But
Right. Right.
but I guess that goes to, that might say a little bit about me anyway, because I'm the one that's okay with most of the stuff that people are saying over here, except for this part. That might, have something to do with how I came up, you know, as a
Yeah. Maybe.
Democrat and just being cool with this and that, growing up in the Bay Area, you're like pushed into diversity. Well, I mean, we were for sure,
Yeah.
and there was a lot of good that comes with that. Open
100%.
mindedness, being able to connect with people of all backgrounds, uh, financial backgrounds, historical backgrounds, all good things.
Right.
Then there becomes a point where I think my household traditions start to get tested with the newer traditions that came from some of these foundational uh titles, Democrat, like being one, you know.
Right.
So it's just interesting, like you being older, you just start to realize more of who your parents are, I think, or who your parents were when you were a kid.
And you
You
start
know,
to embody that. Is that what you're saying?
well, I'm not really saying that I embody it, but not everything. But I think that when I was younger, I looked at all adults like, oh, they just older and they don't know what's going on. They don't know what they're talking about when it comes to certain things. But then I get older and I'm like, oh, I understand now why they felt this way about these things,
Yeah.
even though I didn't understand that back then, you know. So uh it is interesting, but all in all though, I loved to see the women stepping out and saying what needed to be heard.
Yeah, man. Um, like I said last month in an episode, I'm ready to see the ladies tear some shit up. Like, I want to see that,
Yeah.
you know. And I think this is the issue that is going to ignite that anger and that passion within them
Mhm.
to really start to tear some shit up. If they are ever going to do it, it's going to be now.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Women are one, they're like already gonna get the green light to do whatever they want to do. You know, it's like
yeah,
I mean, for the most
more,
part,
a little more so than the men for sure.
for sure, for sure. I mean, I think just when it comes to saying what they want to say, men are not really out here silencing what women have to say in terms of vocally expressing themselves. Now, I would say not to speak more on the topic of the Roe versus Wade, I would say that then maybe what they're doing now is silencing women in a way. But when it comes to the vocal expression, I think it's definitely a green light. So once they start getting their Trump-like figure that they could get behind and that they get behind, there's no telling what's going to happen.
I don't know if there exists a Trump-like figure within the ladies. Can you
I think yeah, that's tough. But I would say Beyonce is in that realm. She could just say some shit and then it could just become some shit.
Yeah, but I would argue that Beyonce probably. I mean, I don't know if we're talking hypothetically, if we're talking realistically, but Beyonce ain't gonna be the one to do anything because, I would argue, in any celebrity isn't going to be the one to do it because not celebrities that are in the prime of their career.
Mhm.
Celebrities don't really give a fuck about that shit. For one, because they're a protected class of people.
Agreed.
Financially speaking, success speaking, like they don't have to worry about a lot of the stuff that 99% of us have to.
Well,
They just don't.
there have
Therefore,
been entertainers that have said things about policies.
yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
100%.
and they're out here and
Enough
when
to
they
like
do talk,
actually get
people do
out and
listen.
run or to make it their main platform. I don't see that from Beyonce. At the end of the day, Beyonce is all about one thing, that's selling albums.
I don't see it from Beyonce either. But if we were to imagine Beyonce saying anything and the amount of change that it could create, it's not like it wouldn't create some real change. Like people would actually talk
Mm,
about it.
yeah, yeah, it'll get the conversation going, and maybe that's all that needs to be done these days is to spark the conversation. But in terms of her being a consistent figure that's in the mix, I highly doubt it. Highly doubt it. Can you name any celebrity that's been in the mix consistently, who's in the prime of his or her career?
Well, no, because if you're known, well, see, you're saying just celebrity, and
Yeah,
more so, more people in politics can be considered celebrities nowadays more than in the past. Bernie Sanders is a celebrity. He's a
yeah,
politician, but he's also a
right.
celebrity
I'm talking about in the name of entertainment.
in the name of entertainment. I think,
Right.
but I mean, obviously, you have to build like a personality, and you have to build yourself as the entertainer before people will start to listen to anything you have to say, right?
Right.
So like there could have been people that were saying things or that feel a certain kind of way, but maybe not have been as vocal until they had that front stage platform.
Yeah, I'm talking about that somebody that already has a front stage platform and is using that platform to then voice opinions about policy and legislation.
Yeah, I think right now, I mean, I'm just gonna keep it hood. Cardi B has come in from the gate talking about politics. She's not hardcore about politics in her branding, but she speaks on things, and she has spoken on things before. Kanye West fucking ran for president,
That's
and
true.
he also made a song, I would say Jesus Walks, which to me was very
Political.
like exactly. It's like in the essence of who he was and where he was coming from. He did something that a lot of people would say is taboo. Don't do that. You don't want to do this.
Yeah,
And
100%.
and then he still went out there and did it. And I think when he did that, he planted the flag just as somebody that will always be someone who's willing to step out. He even went and said George Bush don't care about black people.
Yeah,
Can't
those are
forget
great
about that.
points. Those
You
are
know.
great points. Those
So
those are
we
great.
we are starting to have more people, and even to take it away from the hip hop community. I remember when the Dixie Chicks had said something about George Bush, at a time, and that was considered something that was like kind of spicy for people to do at the time. I think that they had said something um, going against what George Bush was, how he was responding to Katrina. And I think
Yeah,
they ended up getting canceled.
yeah, they did. Had to
Um,
change their name and
because of that.
everything. They changed it from the Dixie Chicks to the Chicks.
Now, see, I didn't know that. That's crazy.
Yeah, that is now their current name is the Chicks.
Wow, bruh.
Well, I mean, and which I tip
You
my
know,
hat.
it's just so interesting though, because like you would think. Now, I didn't listen to their music, but I do remember that hearing that name, that band's name, right? And now that I'm older, the Dixie Chicks to me just says like that could be some down south, hard conservative, Republican shit.
It not only could be, it is and was. That was their brand,
That
and
was their. That was their.
that's why they stripped their name of the Dixie part. Dixie
Uh,
is rooted in Southern Confederacy,
yeah. So there it is, and
which
it's
is
happened,
just a
but
quick little fact. Dixiecrat was another name for a Southern Democrat, which is what all Democrats were before 1960. They were Dixiecrats, which is
boom,
everybody knows. The Democratic Party was the one that was in favor of slavery and
slavery.
the Confederacy and all that shit. So
Ain't crazy how that all turned around, or
or,
did it?
or so they say.
Right. That's real. But I mean, there are figures that have done it. Given coming into the gate, but it's not obviously as common. And I think it goes back to the fact that people obviously don't want to be out there and they don't want to shake it up too much before we get comfortable or before they find their core audience.
Yeah, because I mean it's divisive and it'll hurt
Yeah,
your
it's
numbers.
understandable if you're trying to protect your brand, if you're trying to create a brand or
Yeah,
create some
yeah,
type
I
of
get it.
notoriety for a talent that you have, then obviously you should be focusing on that anyway. It's hard to save the world and save yourself.
Well, and that therein lies the problem.
Hmm.
That's
Speak on
why
it.
that goes back to my premise. Celebrities are the 1%. Why would I fuck up my comfortable, comfy 1% position to fuck with the rest of these 99 losers? like, I got my bag, and I'm trying to keep it. So fuck what they talking about. I might send out a tweet here and there, but when it comes down to like putting some action behind my words, how many of them are really going to do it? Now, Kanye was a great example, but I mean, don't ever forget that man was in the White House shaking hands with Trump, wearing
He
the
was.
the MAGA hat and everything.
Yeah.
Man, and I get, he was trying to do it to kind of flip it on its head or whatever, but
Hmm.
I mean, it was a failed attempt, and in my mind, he only ended up emboldening a lot of the people on the right to hunker down in their sycophancy for
Hmm.
Trump and Trump's policies and right wing policies in general.
It was definitely some divisive shit that that created. He
Yeah.
didn't, and I
Then he
don't think
came
I
out
don't
with
think he helped his brand for sure. I don't think he helped.
yeah,
People people like
with
us who love his music.
yeah,
Had me looking sideways. What is going on?
yeah. I mean, but he deserves an asterisk next to his name because he's
Mentally sick.
mentally sick, unstable. So
Yeah.
he means well.
That's yeah,
Leave it
and everyone in the culture I feel like understands that too. That probably has the best intentions, but the presentation ain't always the best.
right.
Right? Sometimes it's like I don't even know this nigga over here. I didn't buy any of this nigga shit.
Right.
I don't know what he's selling.
You know, but yeah. At the end of the day, I'm glad to see more people's rights being challenged. As sick as that might sound, because it at least turns the mirror on the state of the union, which is terrible. You know what I mean? Like, if me and my people's rights have been trampled on for decades and centuries, let's trample on some of these other people's rights so that everybody can start waking up. Because, like I said, in comfort, you allow shit to continue. So
Right.
let's get uncomfortable. Let's get uncomfortable. Let's start to have some conversations. Let's start to see how we're all being played.
Yeah, ultimately, that's what Independence Day is all about. I'm talking about the movie now, but to me, it's like once we all felt like we could understand the problems, because we could feel like those other people's problems are now problems that we got to deal with. An alien of such,
Right.
coming
Something
to our world,
that-
and now it's like, and I'm gonna stand with you now.
Right.
I want to stand, because I want you to stand next to me so we could face this thing together, deal
Right.
with this.
Right. I mean, it would be nice if we all latched onto the idea and principle that when there's a threat to justice anywhere, it's a threat to justice everywhere. But I mean, clearly people aren't. That's not a reality. People, if one group of people over here has been fucked with, it's still a bunch of people out here like it's all good, and that's not okay. I don't care if it's a black dude that's getting his rights encroached upon, or a female getting their rights encroached upon. Like, we all need to see that it's not right, and that we need to do something about it before they start to come from my individual rights.
Yeah.
So, but that hasn't happened yet. Like, people don't wake up until their rights are being trampled upon. So, hopefully this wakes everybody up, or wakes more people up, because if it's one thing that'll bring us together, it's us having a common threat.
Yeah, or at least we got to believe in what the threat is, because sometimes I could see things not having to be someone's initial issue, but they just understand that this is a threat for
Right,
the other
right.
person, and we
What
could be
King
like,
was
I'm
talking
gonna
about.
step up. Yeah,
And that's what King was talking about. Threat anywhere, a threat to justice anywhere is a threat to justice
right.
everywhere. But again, that's idealistically. In reality, just human nature, that doesn't necessarily apply. Like, I mean, otherwise we would have seen a lot of people in the streets when you know when
With George Floyd.
well, we did see a lot of people in the streets during George Floyd, but I would argue that that was just a happy coincidence, because motherfuckers didn't have shit to do anyway. If George Floyd would have happened in 2019, it would have been a far different result than.
What if it happened now, and people are kind of back to
Well,
something?
it did happen now, and we really don't hear too much about it. Jalen Walker, or Jalen Walker, I think that's his name. Forgive me if I'm getting that name wrong. The brother that got shot 60 times last week. Are you hearing a lot about that in the news?
Walker, nope.
Yeah, my point exactly.
In Akron, Ohio.
Yeah, my point exactly. They shot that dude 60 times. He was unarmed. Meanwhile, in juxtaposition, or contradiction, in contrast,
Yeah,
we have I think his name is Robert E. Forget what the dude's name is, but the dude that shot up Highland Park, Illinois, on during the Fourth of July parade. He was
right.
brought in with not a mark on him, and he killed 7 people.
Yeah, I seen a picture of that kid. He looked like
He looks weird.
he looked like Lil Xan. Like, he looks like a little rapper.
Well, he is a rapper. He has music out there. Um, Hip hop was his genre.
Mhm.
He was the father of a dude that ran for the mayor, I believe, of Highland Park, and he lost. I don't know if that fed into his aggression or his uh his disappointment with the Highland Park community. But yeah, he was a rapper, and he was. I mean,
Wow.
the story in the news is saying that like a lot of his lyrics were talking about killing people, but then again, so does a lot of hip hop. So I don't know if that
Yeah.
feeds too much into his motive. But I mean, details will be coming out over the next few days and weeks.
Yeah, that's
But
crazy, man.
again, the contrast or the major point being that yeah, in
Yeah.
this 2022, the world is continuing, and it's an atrocity like what happened to Jalen. Is his name Jalen? Is that
Yep.
what,
Jalen
an
Brown.
atrocity that happened to him, and people don't really
Or
know about
Jalen Walker. Excuse me, Jalen Walker.
Jalen Walker. Yeah, and people don't really know about it. So yeah, when the world shuts down, people will hit the streets because they ain't got shit else to do. But again, in comfort, you are placated. In comfort, you give a much less of a fuck than than you would if you're uncomfortable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Got
They
to
shot
stir it
that
up.
they shot him 60 times. They fired at him 90 times.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
They handcuffed him after they caught up to him after he was bleeding out in the street. They handcuffed him.
What? Oh man, this is some bullshit.
Yeah, it is.
A 4-minute chase. He put him on a 4-minute chase. Damn.
And they shot him like it was target practice because it was because he was black.
Yep.
If that was a white man, they would not. They would have brought him in with maybe a scratch, maybe.
They say Walker. Police say Walker fired his own gun during the chase, and at times reached more than 80 miles per hour. That's it. The nigga was going 80. That's it.
I don't care if he was going 150. Again, we had somebody yesterday kill 7 people, and he was brought in without a scratch. The major difference is that he was white and this other dude was black, and we see it again and again and again and again and again and again and again. Same story.
Yeah. Dan, his brother was from Akron.
Yeah, I wonder if LeBron James has said anything about it. I'm sure he has, because thankfully he's one of the more outspoken people.
Right.
That that's his hometown, so I'm sure he has. I haven't seen anything, but I'm sure he has, and I hope that he continues to do so because somebody
Yeah.
has to.
Yeah, he's got a reaction. Oh my gosh. Yeah, man, this shit
So
is
again,
crazy, man.
our community has been hurting for a long time. So as sick as it might sound, yeah, I'm glad other communities are starting to feel the heat too. Hopefully, we can all start to band together now that they are,
Right.
and we can all take it to the system because other communities been comfortable for too long. So let's get uncomfortable.
For real. I'm with you on that. I was gonna try to pull up this video to see what LeBron did, but I think they just posted a tweet that he has here. It says, "I pray for my city today." I wonder if let's see. Sorry, excuse me, it's taking a little second. There it is. There's the tweet. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jalen Walker. Man, prayers to your family and friends. That's It's ridiculous, man.
Yeah,
Hmm.
man. So, we'll see what comes of all this shit. I'm going to guess that these 8 officers, it was 8 officers that shot him. I'm going to guess that maybe they'll get a leave of absence paid, and if they're not allowed to keep their jobs, they'll resign and they'll go to another department and be working within a month.
Cold world. It's cold blooded.
Yeah.
It's cold blooded. Now, with that being a situation that is so consistent, right? What do you think the solution is?
Well, there needs to be police reform nationally, federally, and that's something that Biden ain't gonna do.
Yeah.
I believe the Democratic Party, with full control of both houses, or the House and the Senate, they had a bill that was geared towards police reform, and they voted it down.
Damn.
So, like, shit. I
You don't
mean,
have to get somebody in there or just reframe that bill. Do what they usually do. Maybe we could just take the reform part, sneak it in with something else that they do want.
well, I mean, again, with full control of the House and Senate, you shouldn't have to sneak in anything if you care. You got full control. You don't got to sneak shit in.
Yeah, that's real.
Just vote it in. You have full control. For all this time, or for so long, they said, like, oh, it's the people on the right that are stopping us from getting shit done. Bullshit.
Yeah, where they at now?
You know what I mean? It's just a game. It's just a game. Right now they're talking about, like, the Roe versus Wade decision. Like, vote for us in November. They're already starting, like, to use that as a fundraising point. Like, hey, donate to the Democratic Party so that in November we can take it to Washington. And, like, you guys already have the power. You guys already have the power. I was watching a platform the other day where they did a segment on the fact that in 2016, the DNC, the Democratic National Convention, they kicked a bunch of money towards Trump's campaign. Because
Really?
at the time they thought that Trump was an easy win, which makes sense. Like, if you're thinking about it strategically, like, okay, I'm gonna try to promote their weakest, most buffoonish candidate, so that come the general election, we can mop the floor with them. But look how that backfired,
man.
And like, it just goes to the point that it's all a strategic game. You know what I mean? Like, oh yeah, let's let these Supreme Court justices vote for this shit, this Roe versus Wade decision, or to reverse it, right? So that in November, people will hate the right wing so much that they'll definitely vote for us. You see how that shit works?
It's all about votes.
It's all about votes. For better or for worse, within the American public, at the end of the day, as long as I get the votes that I need to stay in power, that's all I care about.
There was a testimony made by one of the staff members, White House staff members, for Trump during that time when on January 6th, when those folks stormed the Capitol, right? She was talking about how the exchange that was happening between Trump and I guess the White House security. They were driving. He wanted to go to the Capitol and be with those people. And, I imagine he would go there and he would try to probably not have them go in there. but apparently he's going back and forth. They was like, we're gonna take you to the White House, and he lunged over the seat and grabbed the wheel so that he could try to get them to turn.
Right.
You seen that?
Yeah, I saw little blurbs about it. I have some questions because I didn't really feed into the story too much. But so he was trying to go to the White House in order to rile up. I'm sorry, he was trying to go to the Capitol so that he can be with the crowd and rile them up even more. Is that it?
Well, he said he wanted to be there. Uh, Let me see if I can find this clip. Because she was saying how he wanted to go there and be there with those people.
In order to stop them or in order to encourage them further?
Now, I don't think she spoke on like the intention of what he was gonna do. Um, but I just imagine that he would have tried to just have like a rally there, and they wouldn't have ran in there. I don't think he would have told him to run in there
Well, and what's the timeline of this? Was this
the day
before they
of.
started tearing shit up, or was this after
True,
they started tearing shit up?
true, true, true. Let me see if I.
I'm under the impression by the little bit that I've heard here and there throughout the week that it
Uh,
was after the fact that he was trying to go there. Otherwise, why wouldn't his driver, who he's fully in control of or has power over, why wouldn't he take him there? Unless it was like a threat to his safety because they
mhm.
were already tearing shit up.
Yeah, true. And I mean, I think that there's a probably that's probably going to be the answer that they give you. But I feel like pinning him that said you're not going down there for whatever reason they created. I don't think it necessarily had to do with his safety as much as it may have been that
They wanted
you said enough, you've done enough. You don't need to be connected with what these people are willing to do now.
So what's the narrative then?
I'm gonna my whole reason for bringing that up is because to me I was thought it was interesting that there are people that even though they were his security, they had orders not to do what he said he wanted to do.
Yeah.
It's like, are you the president or not?
Right.
You know? And how's your own staff not treating you like that? These are people, I don't know,
Well,
they
there were
work for you.
whispers of that. And there were whispers of that throughout his presidency. Throughout his administration, there were people kind of coming out saying like, "Oh, he's an idiot." Like he's telling us to do one thing, but we're doing the opposite because he doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. So there was a lot of mutiny, I think they call it,
Hmm.
when during his administration, and um, I think that gives credence to the fact that we had somebody in the White House that didn't really that shouldn't have been there in terms of his decorum, in terms of his I don't want to say his lack of intelligence because I don't think he truly is a dummy, but he does do dumb
Hmm.
thinking. You know what I
Yeah, for
mean?
sure.
Like there
That's
was the whole press conference when coronavirus had first broke out, and he's spitballing in the press conference on live TV, talking about like, well, shit, can we just can we inject people with bleach to
yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
exactly.
Can
It's like,
we
what are you talking about, dude?
right?
The hell is going on? You want me to let me get this right? Bleach? Bleach in my cereal? I got the clip up here. It's only a minute long.
Yeah, go ahead and play it.
It's cool. I play it.
Go with Bobby. He thought that they were going up to the Capitol, and when Bobby had relayed to him, we're not, we don't have the assets to do it, it's not secure, we're going back to the West Wing. The president had very strong, a very angry response to that. The president said something to the effect of, "I'm the effing president, take me up to the Capitol now." To which Bobby responded, "Sir, we have to go back to the West Wing." The president reached up towards the front of the vehicle to grab at the steering wheel. Mr. Engel grabbed his arm, said, "Sir, you need to take your hand off the steering wheel. We're going back to the West Wing. We're not going to the Capitol." Mr. Trump then used his free hand to lunge towards Bobby Engel. When Mr. Renato had recounted this story to me, he had motioned towards his clavicles.
Sheesh.
Yeah, so they had already been tearing shit up by that point, because obviously, if they're trying to attack fucking
Yeah.
the politicians in the Capitol building, then that's a threat to Trump as well, generally speaking.
Yeah, I mean, if things are already popping off, I think it's a whole different kind of game if he shows up after that.
Right.
Yeah, because then it looks like, oh, you really did tell people to show up there, because now you're here.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, but yeah. Then there's whispers saying that, not whispers. There's strong evidence pointing to the fact that he's going to run in 2024. So
Yeah, he's gonna probably go to jail.
no, I don't think so. Do you know he? This man is Mr. Untouchable. They tried to impeach him, didn't work. They've thrown so many things at him that have never stuck. Remember his lawyer? His lawyer got locked up for.
Yep.
I don't know what the fuck he got locked up for exactly, but his lawyer was doing shit on his behalf.
Oh, wasn't his lawyer Giuliani?
Nah. Well, I think so. That was after his original lawyer got locked up. But the lawyer was doing shit on Trump's behalf, and Trump didn't go to jail. The lawyer did. So like the dude is untouchable. And I say that begrudgingly because I want to see this dude serve some type of time or see some type of punishment. But I say all that to say, I do not think that he's going to be serving any time for this. I don't think that he's going to serve any type of consequences.
Now, he's definitely they're going to have to talk to him about it. He's going to have to show up in court again for some of these things that they're talking about. You think he's going to run again?
Yeah, definitely.
Type of shit?
100%. He's been dealing with the stuff even before. I mean, do you not remember that he in the middle of his campaign, maybe it was after, I can't remember, but he paid a porn star $100 plus some odd dollars. I'm sorry, $100,000 plus dollars to keep her mouth closed about an affair that they had. Like this dude is Mr. Untouchable. Like he dusts himself off more, just better than anybody I've ever seen in history. Like he's dealt with so many scandals and still remains unscathed. It's almost like he likes it because it brings him more publicity, more attention, more of a passionate base, because they see like, hey, the dude we're going for can't be touched. It's kind of like in wrestling, you know what I mean? Like where you got the heel, you got the bad guy, and everybody fucks with the bad guy because he's up to no good, but it feels good to root for him. He's like the Triple H of politics.
Okay, I can see that. He's definitely the villain.
100%.
He's definitely the villain. I
Look,
mean, look,
you
if
can
he
guarantee
gets,
the news outlets love it because it's a story for them to print every single day.
yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, he's up there with with Ye in terms of
Right.
headline juice. He's
What's
probably
that
bigger. He's
line? What's
probably
that
bigger.
line? What's that line Kanye had? Everybody feel a way about Kanye, but at least they feel something.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like Kanye does not care if it's good or bad. He just
mhm,
wants you talking about him.
yeah, egomaniac for
Exactly.
sure. But if he gets Brittany Griner returned, if he has anything to do with that, and he let us know, man, it'd be hard for me to say I don't fuck with dude.
Yeah, I mean, if there's one good thing about Trump, is well, there's several good things about him. As much as I don't like this dude, there's several good things that he does bring to the table. He's anti-war, at least thus far. When he was in
Mhm.
presidency, we were not going to war, at least a war that wasn't already in motion to begin with.
Right.
And I believe it was him that already put in, Biden got us out of Afghanistan as haphazard as he did. Um,
Yeah, but I
but,
think that
but
motion
Trump
was
put
already
that
put
in
in.
motion. Yeah, Trump put that in
Yeah,
motion.
yeah, it's
So
true.
he's anti-war, and he gets shit done. If he wants to get things done, he got them done.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Um, yeah. So
It's true.
yeah,
It's true.
you know. Meanwhile, you got Biden who literally can't get out of his own way. He's falling off bikes and shit. Like, come on, dog. Come on, bro.
Man, he needs the training wheels. The grown man need training wheels. Yeah, man, we definitely gotta we in for something for the next couple years, right?
Oh yeah. Nah, we're it's gonna be it's gonna be a rough decade. It's gonna be a rough decade. We're headed towards a cataclysmic recession right now. People aren't talking about it, at least on the major news outlets. But you tune into any
Mhm.
financial news network like CNBC or
Mhm.
just any of those, and they're all talking about like, hey, this recession that we're headed into is going to be bad. It's like real bad.
Yeah, true. There's a podcast that I watch on Mondays, Market Mondays, with the guys over at Earn Your Leisure. They've been talking about this recession like every single week and how much worse it's gonna get. So yeah, it's definitely important to stay in the know with what's going on because inflation is making everything higher. That's what it does. So
Yeah.
and we definitely there now. And in recession, I think the first official day of recession started on the 1st of July.
Yeah. From my knowledge, is going to be based on the numbers that come out from quarter two, which just
Mm-hmm.
ended June 30th. So it'll take it
Yeah.
another week or two for those numbers to come out, maybe even longer than that. But when those numbers do come out, and if we did have another, I think, dip in the GDP, we
Mm-hmm.
will officially be in a recession.
Right.
So, um,
Yeah, we're there
yeah,
now. We're there now.
we're there.
By the
We're
time you're listening to this, we'll probably be there.
there. Yeah, man, and that's going to have a devastating effect on a lot of people, on most people, I would
Yeah.
say. Um, yeah, yeah, that's gonna trickle down into unemployment. That's going to trickle down into
Mm-hmm.
probably even higher prices. Honestly, um, yeah, it's
Mm-hmm.
going to be bad. It's going to be bad.
Yeah. It's definitely gonna be tough, because the wages aren't going up, you know.
Right.
And even though there's a lot of jobs out here for people, the wage is not going up. It's not enticing people that are unemployed to get any old job. So you got to be really talking some numbers out here.
Well, I mean, and that's really determined by the job market. You know what I mean? Like people aren't coming. Like
Well,
there's
depending on the industry you're trying, you're
depending on
focused
the
on.
industry,
Yeah.
but also depending on the amount of opportunity out there. Right now, it's a buyer's market, so to speak. Where as an employer, you
Right.
have you have so many options. Now, when a recession kicks in, there's going to be a lot of layoffs, and companies aren't going to be as willing to uh, to sweeten the pot. Why? Because they don't need to. Now, as opposed to me as an employer offering, um, I'm sorry, and I meant employee earlier. But as an employer, if I have a job and I only have like 2 people coming in for it, I'm at much less of a position of leverage than if I put out a job and there's 20 people going for it. Does that make sense? That's because
True.
there's so much opportunity out there that there's not a high demand for your shitty ass position. I'm
Right.
in much more of a leverage position if there's few jobs out there and way more demand for it. And that's what we're going to see during this recession. Unemployment is going to be high. Mark my words now. And it's not really even my words. It's just words that I'm parroting from a bunch of analysts that I've listened to over the past couple of months. Like, it's going to get rough out there.
Well, yeah, they got to start paying people. They got to pay.
They won't have
They got to pay what away.
They won't have to.
Why you said that?
If there's massive layoffs, people will be willing to settle for a minimum wage job if there's massive layoffs because there's not many other opportunities outside of that minimum wage job.
Okay, so because you're saying you think that because when we got out of, let's say we got out of COVID, even though nobody's really out of it, but we're more out of it than we're in it. And once we start to get out of it, there was an abundance of jobs. You're saying that,
and that's just leftover from the pandemic aside.
Mhm.
The economy has been bustling for. Let's see. The last recession was in 2008. I think we were probably out of it. We were probably in the clear by 2012. The economy was doing pretty good by 2012, 2013, and it's been like that ever since. So whether the pandemic came or not, like there was always this type of job market out there. Now what did happen since the pandemic, because it did happen, what's happened since then is that people were on unemployment and were getting that government assistance. So a lot of people were like, yeah, I'm not coming back to work, or a lot of people retired. A lot of people ended up retiring. So that opened up more opportunities job wise. A lot of people started working from home. You know what I mean? So
true.
So it like I said, it's a buyer's market. Like the employees kind of have a lot more leverage to determine like, yeah, I don't want to come back into the office. Oh, you're not fucking with me? Okay, then I'll go to another company that will let me work from home. You know what I mean? So it's good right now.
Yeah, I don't think everybody has that.
Very soon.
I don't think everybody is because there are still there's a high unemployment rate. And I don't think it's because
That's
people
not true.
Yeah,
Unemployment, federally speaking, I believe is at 3%.
Okay, what is in California?
I'm not sure. California unemployment rate at 4.3.
So it's going up. Let me see, it's going up, or is it going down?
I'm looking at a chart right now. It says that it was, let's see. So in 2010, it was 12.5. By 2017, it was 4.5. By 2020, it shot up to 16% because that was the pandemic. But now it's at 4.3. So let's see. In June of 2018, it was 4.2. It's still about the same as it was before the pandemic. 4.3 in 2008, 4.0 in July of 2019. So it's gone up slightly by 0.3% since July of 2019. So it's been low for a very long time.
Yep. Okay, well, I'm mistaken. I was thinking that because I hear about so many jobs that are talking about they want work. You know, these business owners are saying that they need people to work. A common thing that they say is that people are not applying for jobs. People are not trying to get out and work. So I'm like,
Yeah.
I was thinking that, but I think these numbers show that there are actually a pretty level amount of people that are working.
Yeah, 100%.
Versus then when the pandemic started, obviously
Yeah,
that number is
100%.
a
That's
lot
because
higher.
there's more opportunity, not enough demand for it. But once you start laying people off, the way a recession works is that like companies that so all right, so the Fed hiked up rates a week ago, 2 weeks ago, and that's going to have a trickle down effect. Um, if the bank is charging more money or more interest to give out a loan, corporations operate operate a large amount of the operations of a corporation is based on getting money from a bank. If you're now charging me 20%, just hypothetically, to take out that money and put it in the stock market, put it in investments, put it towards my company itself, then I'm less likely to take out that money, and which means I
Right.
have less money to play with, which means that shit, I'm going to cut the fat. If there's some fat that needs to be cut, shit, nigga, you got to go. I don't have the flexibility that I did a couple of years ago. That's going to have a trickle down effect, and that's across the board. That's across.
Right.
And the reason why they're hiking up rates is to stop people from spending so much. We're in a golden age, so to speak, of money. There's a lot of money out there. So that's why things are so good. But because there's so much money out there, it's leading to inflation because we've printed so much money over the past 2 years. I think I read a statistic that said we have, over the past 2 years, we've printed 80% of the money that's out there over the past 2 years. 80%
What?
of the money that exists out there has been printed over the past 2 years. That's what leads to inflation.
That's crazy.
Your dollar has a lot less power because there's so much of it out there. It's the old supply and demand thing. The more of it that's out there, the less value it has. The reason why gold is so valuable is because it's scarce. You can't find gold everywhere.
Right.
But one thing you can find everywhere now is fucking US dollars.
They everywhere. They blown in the wind.
Everywhere. We printed so much. And they knew that this would lead to inflation. They knew this. But because everybody was so scared of the pandemic, we totally fucked up our system by locking everybody down and giving everybody free money. Now, I understand the approach. I understand the approach of caution. But to shut down everything when it's a disease that only affects, generally speaking, the elderly and the unhealthy, it doesn't make sense for you to jeopardize your entire economy unless it's corporately incentivized. More corporations benefited from the money that the government printed out than anybody else. That money wasn't for just you and me. That money was in large part for Apple and Google and Snapchat and Zoom and all that shit. I keep hearing the statistics that billionaires became like 40% richer during the pandemic than anybody else. So that was a corporate grab. It wasn't for our safety and for our benefit. Like whenever they do that, whenever they say that, you got to look behind the closed door and at what they're really doing and who the benefit it really is for. It was for the corporations. And as a result, we will be in a terrible recession for the rest of this decade. It's going to get bad.
Just another 8 years. We'll be all right.
Yeah, it's going to get bad, man. So I hope everybody's ready out there.
That's real. Gotta be ready, man. Well, let me ask you this, man. With the transition of everything, how'd you feel coming off the first? I guess how do you feel coming back from the hiatus?
I feel good, man. I feel ready to really get after it.
Yeah.
I don't. I'm ready to get after it. I'm ready to start educating our blacksmiths out there about what's going on,
Mm-hmm.
helping to push the social consciousness, because that's what needs to be done. The way that we get into the issues that our community gets into is from lack of knowledge and lack of consciousness.
Mm-hmm. It's real.
So yeah, that's my role. That's our role, is to help push that. So I'm glad to be back from hiatus and back to work. And the frequency that we'll be able to do it at now, I think is going to be a big benefit. It's going to be a huge benefit.
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure. I love the segments from before. I was wondering if I could bring one back. But I'm not sure if this is even one that was official, or maybe if you just did this one time when I was around. But there was like a Mary Smash Kill or something like that. Remember that?
Yeah, I remember that.
Okay, well, we did a different one that had to do with. No, I don't know. I'm trying to freestyle something here, but I'm not trying to. I don't want to fuck it up. So I'll just let you go with the show as you would.
Nah, I'm a fan of the Mary Smack or whatever we call it. We wanted to bring some originality to it.
Right.
Not too long ago, where it wasn't in terms of people that we would marry, smash, or kill. It was people that we would be friends with, people that we would rather be on the run from. We called it brunch, punch, or duck.
Okay. Yeah, that's right. That's right. I do remember that. Damn, that was
So
like
let me
16.
pose. Let me pose. You ready for it? Okay.
Yeah, let's see.
All right, brunch, punch, or duck. OJ, Debo, or Biff from Back to the Future.
Biff? Oh,
You remember Biff?
shit. Biff from Back to the Future? Oh, damn. Okay. Damn. Okay, befriend, and then what? Punch, brunch, punch, or duck?
Yep.
Okay, what's the options again? OJ? What's the other one?
OJ, Biff,
Debo.
or Debo.
Debo Samuels?
No.
Because brunch.
From Friday.
Oh shit. Debo, or like Zeus, like the real name.
No, it would be the character
Debo.
Debo. Yeah, because Zeus was actually a really nice guy, from what I understand.
Yeah. Oh damn, brother. Okay, man. So we just gonna be chilling. Brunch. I'd probably say man. All right. I probably say Debo. Cause the food, first off, wherever we go, they're gonna see us.
Why does that matter?
Because they're gonna see us. Some places you go, it's like Is it reserved? Is it too full? You know, they're gonna
Okay.
see this.
Okay.
We're not paying for anything we order. Food's free. So that right there,
Well, I
that's
mean,
comp.
honestly, okay. Nah, go ahead.
That's
Proceed.
so we're gonna get in there, we're gonna order everything, and then we're gonna walk out and you're gonna be like, what check? What bill? And they gonna know what time it is.
What bike?
Exactly. So that's that. And then let me see. What was the other one? Punch.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm a punch.
That means like you get to just walk up to him. He's not expecting you. And you
get sucker. You get to smash.
Okay. You get one punch though.
Yeah, definitely Biff, the dude from the movie.
You think you can knock him out?
He was always bro. Hell yeah, bro. That dude was a punk, bro. He was always like not cool with the nerds. That's
right.
That's not cool, bro. Like you gotta accept people. And then he was dumb as hell. And then when he got money, you know, when he ended up getting money, you know, he was like a super tyrant, bro. He was like the ex-president. He was ridiculous. So he would get the punch. And then the duck is OJ. Look.
Okay.
OJ from my coming up, I would try for sure. Because the thing is, it's like just being connected, just associated with him. Nobody knows the context of how you know OJ in the time that you might be standing with him. I don't know. I don't know if I want what comes with just being affiliated with OJ nowadays. You know what I mean?
Okay. All right.
At one point when it was like Naked Gun movies and shit, and he was jumping over niggas in airports, that's cool. But then nowadays it's like you're not only known for murdering your wife, but then you rob some other niggas for some merch of yours. I don't know if I should be a fit.
It was his, man.
It was his. I just wouldn't want to be affiliated with someone with that much type of like with that kind of reputation. You know what I mean? Getting right out of jail. Yeah. It's like even if he wasn't OJ, if this was like somebody in my actual family that had that type of reputation, I probably wouldn't want to be around them. I'd probably try to duck them. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, I hear that.
Yeah, we don't know if Randall really killed his wife, but that's what they said he did. But he did. Then people they bought his stuff from an auction, and then he robbed them fools, and he was doing time for that. It's like I can't hang around Randall. I don't care. He got out, but he ain't hanging around me. So that's how I look at OJ. That's how I look at OJ.
I hear that.
Yeah.
All right. For my selection, as far as brunch, I'm gonna have to kick it with OJ, bro. I'm gonna have to.
What would that even? What would you do that for?
And well, for one, it pays to have friends who will kill for you. You know what I mean? So, you know, we already know OJ is a ride or die.
Yeah, bro, that nigga, you right. Because after someone died, that nigga was riding in that Bronco.
You right. You feel me? So yeah, I'm fucking with OJ, dog. Plus, if I get real good with him, I get to he'll let me know eventually if he really did it or not. And that's something everybody wants to know. Even people that think that that say like, oh yeah, he's guilty. But in the back of their mind, they still aren't 1,000% sure. Nobody knows, dog. Nobody knows.
Nobody knows, but you really gonna be partying with a dude with a convicted murderer? Not convicted,
you know
but
how many? Do you know how many of us are convicted murderers that went on to get acquitted or exonerated 30 years later?
What I'm saying is like, that's true. That's true. Even Ray Lewis.
Exactly.
That's who I think of. But I would kick it with Ray Lewis.
Yeah, I think most people would.
Yeah,
For
yeah,
one, yeah, his trial wasn't as. No, it was pretty highly publicized.
yeah.
Um,
And he really did murder somebody though. It wasn't like
it was
they
self
said he
defense.
murdered somebody. He like really murdered somebody.
Was it self defense or something? Because
Interesting
I don't
question.
remember that trial. I was too young. I mean, I guess I was for the OJ trial, but like,
He was
yeah,
no. It says
his trial
Lewis
didn't
was
give publicity as the OJ one.
all right. This says Lewis was arrested for the double murder and spent time in jail before the trial, despite never killing anyone.
Okay,
Oh.
so he did.
A few weeks into the murder trial, Lewis and his attorneys agreed to a plea deal that dropped his murder charges to obstruction of justice, which was a misdemeanor.
Huh.
It was an unsolved double murder. Shit.
Yeah, dog. So, you just never know. We will never know until the day we go meet God. If OJ
Yeah.
did it, if Ray Lewis did it, if
That's real.
who killed Malcolm, we'll just never know. So to that point, I'm gonna have to fuck with OJ because
Okay.
I
Okay.
want to know the truth.
Right. Oh man. You think he gonna tell you the truth?
I think so. Dog, have you been to brunch with me before? This is great time.
Damn, I think one time we did, but it was fun. It was fun, bro. I think we did one time at a birthday party.
It was a great time.
That was a great time, man. That was a good time.
Um,
Okay, shit.
So yeah,
I don't remember snitching about nothing I ever did. But maybe, hey man, maybe you might have that effect on OJ.
the mimosas, they'll get you to talk.
Right.
You have enough of them. Bottomless? Come on now.
Yeah. I've seen the effect happen. I've seen it.
But
That's
as
real.
far as who I'm going to punch, I'm definitely punching Biff.
Got
got
to.
got
I mean, just for the sake of science and you know what I'm saying, and yeah, and real niggas worldwide.
And he tried to take advantage of Miss McFly.
And he was a womanizer.
Right, off top. I can't do
Yeah,
that.
man, can't rock it, bro.
Nah.
Biff was Trump, dog.
He was, dog.
Biff was Trump,
really
dog. That nigga had the almanac. He took the almanac to the future. Bro, so crazy, dog. So crazy.
Last but not least, I'm on the run from Debo. Because he got that lazy eye, so he probably not good at looking for people anyway.
Nah, bro. What you mean? He found Craig all the way in Rancho Cucamonga, dog.
Damn, he did. I didn't think about that. That might have been a bad choice.
Yeah, bro. He gonna find you. He gonna find you, dog. And he gonna keep that revenge.
For real.
Yeah, you gotta be careful, bro. Nigga like Debo, I'm telling you, man, you gotta be on his side. Take the brunch. He have a few of them mimosas. Then he ain't trying to fight you, He'll fight anybody that's telling him he gotta pay this bill.
Right. What check?
What check, bro? This nigga got the blade. He brought a blade. He cut his own food. So imagine a nigga not needing silverware at a restaurant.
That was like Homie and Don't Be a Menace. Remember he got out of jail and he had like a table and he had a little shank and he was
he's cutting the shit
with the shank.
You think you gonna stitch, motherfucker? What's he doing, bro?
He had a mirror and he was looking out of his seat with the mirror. Like they do in prison.
Classic, dog.
Yeah, man. That was
classic. Classic.
That was a great fucking movie.
Yeah, man. Those guys are like the truth. That whole family.
Yeah, man. I mean, they're a big part of the reason why I'm here in LA.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, man.
Okay.
I saw that. I saw those movies I was like, yeah, I want to be involved in the industry.
Them niggas so funny, man. So funny. Okay, bro. I gotta run to go handle a couple things before the day ends. So, is there anything else you want us gonna cover?
Nah, not at all, man. The biggest thing I really wanted to point out today's episode was the Highland Park shooting, the lack of concern when it came to Jalen Walker, and the lack of independence on this Independence Day that we just celebrated.
Real talk. Real talk. Yeah, man. Real eye opening, man, to even read about Jalen Walker. That's like so fucking crazy. And to read that it was just so recent, it's like real shocking because I feel like there should have been a lot more media coverage on that.
Right.
Right.
So I mean,
so yeah, man. Hearts and prayers go out to them for sure, and to the people that got shot at in Highland Park too.
Yeah,
it's
honestly, he hit 30.
Not even safe to go to a freaking 4th of July parade with your kids anymore.
Yeah, I mean, all of us have to really start to second guess everyday everyday activities from this point going forward. And that's been the reality. You got to think twice about going to large gatherings of people.
Right.
At least with me, I have to have an exit strategy or an escape route. If I'm in a grocery store, if I'm in a crowd area, like how am I going to get out of this if shit goes down?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you got to be alert.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to be alert above all, because you never know when somebody's acting stupid.
Yeah, man. In this country, we have a terrible combination of guns galore and mental health, or the lack of mental health. That's a terrible combination.
Yeah, it's facts.
Like we gotta have one of the. We can't have both. Either we have free health care, which will include mental health care for everybody, or we gotta get rid of these guns. But we can't have both. So hopefully people in DC, y'all do something about it. Do one or the other. I'm more for the universal health care because that in general will do so much for everybody.
Amen to that.
But
universalize it. Let's hurry up and do that.
Hopefully when we vote for the Democrats again in November, they'll do what they promising.
Yeah, I think they'll definitely keep promising.
Yeah, I'm speaking very facetiously.
Hey, we could let's just keep hoping for the best, but it's also important to make sure that like you do, and like the women at the Women's March was doing, and so many other women that did yesterday on 4th of July, that you say what needs to get heard, because closed mouth don't get fed.
Yeah, that's right. So let's keep the conversation alive, not only on here, but amongst your friends on the outside and shit on social media and anywhere else where you have a chance to speak your mind.
That's facts. Stand up for what's right. Say what you need to.
Right.
Don't be afraid. Everybody's got an audience.
Right.
Real talk.
All right. Well, I'm glad that you joined us for this episode.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm really glad I got to chop it up with you. Look forward to jumping on here sometime in the future, maybe.
1000%. Appreciate you, LJ. Thank you all for listening to us for another episode of The Bronze Room.